Now in slide 7, identifying the memory ports. We have the CPU, power supply, battery. Let's start from the first one. The CPU stands for Central Processing Unit, and it is the main component of a computer that controls and processes data and instructions. The control center of a computer responsible for executing instructions and manipulating data. It receives input from the computer, process the information, and sends the result to the output. So all the affairs of the system have to be saved on the CPU. So the CPU has the entitlement of receiving all information. Like for instance, if inputs send data into the computer, the CPU have to know that the input device have sent instruction to the computer, and you now provide it to the output system. So the CPU is also known as the central or main processor or microprocessor. The design of computers have become more complex, and technology have allowed for smaller and more reliable electronic devices. So we are now on slide 8, which is known as the PSU, which is power supply unit. So let's look at the power supply unit. It's a crucial component that converts alternating current, which is AC, from an outlet into direct current, DC, for the computer's internal components. So regard to this aspect, the power supply unit is telling us that it's a process of converting alternative current, a current that comes direct from an electricity, which is the outlet. The function of outlet are the socket that will be able to plug our devices. So regard to alternative current refers to direct current, then the outlet refers to the socket that we can input our socket into it. So direct current, which is known as DC. So once we input our socket into outlet, we can now have a direct current, which is DC, for the computer's internal component, so that it can suit those components that are inside the computer system, like all those resistor, inductors, capacitor, processor, and diode, and so on, so that they cannot get burnt. So that's the function of this power supply unit. It regulates the alternative current to direct current so that it can suit the function of the computer system. So let's look at the functions of PSU, which is known as power supply unit. One, converts AC to DC, which is acceleration current to direct current, regulated voltage, and distribute power to computer components. So it regulates the power of the electricity so that it can distribute power to other components that are inside the computer system. So purpose of this PSU, which is known as the power supply unit, to ensure a steady clean power supply to maintain the integrity of the component's hardware. So it have to ensure is to make sure that the power is clean, so that it will not affect the integrity of those components, so that it cannot spoil the components of the computer systems. So features of PSU, which is power supply unit, it built-in protection against power surges and electrical faults, such as overvoltage, undervoltage, short circuit, and overcurrent protection. So it helps the system to be normal. It helps the electric current to be normal, so that it cannot affect or damage any components or any devices on the system. Compatibility. The PSUs, which is power supply units, forms factors must be compatible with the computer case and power requirement. So the ports have to be compatible, have to be equal with the one that are on the system, so that you'll be able to input them. So slide 9, which is known as battery supply. A battery is a device that stores electrical energy and provides power to your PC, which is personal computer, the acronym of PC. When it is not plugged in, the battery has a capacity rating that indicates how much energy it can hold. the capacity is usually expressed in watts, which is WH, or milliamps, MAH. So regards to this battery supply, it allows us to use our system even though the electric current at the outlet has tripped off. So with the help of this port, you'll be able to insert your battery on this port on your system, so that you'll be using your system once you are charging it, and automatically the battery is also charging. So it helps us in terms of like desktop or system that does not have a strong battery. We can attach this external battery on it, so that once the power trip off, the battery can sustain you for many while, so that you can even hurry up to save your documents or items you are trying to forward to individuals, so you can do it successfully. We are now on slide 10, which is types of ports. We have parallel ports, serial ports, and USB ports. Let's look at the first one. Parallel port is a computer interface that allows users to connect devices and transfer data. Parallel ports are known for sending multiple bits of data at once, which is different from serial communication, scanner, and external storage devices. So regards to parallel ports, you will be able to accumulate your data and information multiple. Once we said multiple, they are in form of more than 2, 3 upward. So you will be able to forward them once on system with the help of parallel ports, but while serial port is not like that. So scanners and external storage devices. So let's look at a serial port. A serial port is a physical interface that allows devices to communicate with each other by transferring data between devices, such as a computer and a modem or a printer. It transfers data serially, which means that the bits of data are sent one after the other over a single wire. So regard to this, you can only send your data or information to either modem or through printer, but only once. You have to click on one before you send. If you arrange the documents more than one, it will not go, it will bounce back. But if you intended to send 4 materials, you have to send it once, which is totally contradict to the parallel port. Parallel port, you can accumulate your data and information more than 5 or 10 self, so that you can send it. But serial port, you have to send them one after the other. So our slide 11, we have the USB port. The acronym of this USB port is known as Universal Serial Port Bus. It's a regular connector, transfers data between devices. USB ports of Universal Serial ports are the current standard in data transfer and changing cell phones, tablets, computer peripherals, toys, gaming systems, appliances, and many other devices uses USB connection. So with the help of this USB connection, it is a popularly connection that individuals are using systems knows that it is embedded on the system that you would charge your phone with. You can also use it to transfer data and information. You can also use it as in form of modem. There are some modem that come with the slot of this USB, so it is used for many things. So let's look at the USB drives. So the USB drives are commonly used for storage, data backup, and transferring files between devices. USB drives come in multiple storage capacities and different ports, each of them having a unique using a USB drives. So we can see the diagrams of computer ports. As we explained earlier, the parallel ports, they are used for transferring multiple data bits. Then the serial port is a process of transferring data and information via a single channel, which is bit by bit. you can only send your data and information one after the other. Then we have the USB port, which we can use to charge our phones, to send data and information into our tablets, phones, or we can also use modem on them to access internet and so on.